My name is Jed Meyer. I'm really excited to be here to narrate this Make Your Mark series of presentations, and a really inspiring group of presentations this morning. And I'm excited here now to welcome two guests. Abigail Rendin is the Senior Manager of Consumer Insights at Olson Zaltman, and Sharma, this is your cue, guys, to come out, is the president of Insight Consultant to Susan G. Komen. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage to share their insights with you.
All right, thank you for sticking around. So I'm Padmini Sharma, and I'm here with Abby, and we are going to talk about how we leveraged and used metaphor to drive differentiation in the nonprofit space. We've already heard a lot of great things about metaphor this morning, and I have to say, we could not agree more. So here we go. Before we get into the actual research and the results, I'd like to set some business context for why this was necessary. Susan G. Komen started with a promise. So in 1980, Nancy Brinker promised her dying sister Susan that she would do everything in her power to end breast cancer forever. And this promise launched and started the global breast cancer movement in 1982. So Komen literally started with $200 and is today the world's largest nonprofit source of funding in the fight against breast cancer. Komen continues to be the category leader. In fact, Komen actually created this category. But clearly, the category has evolved since 1982, and more notably, it has become crowded. This is actually great news, because what it means is that more and more people are engaged in bringing awareness and engagement to this deadly issue. But from a donor standpoint, it becomes very hard to distinguish between one organization and the other, especially because everyone's stated mission and fundraising activities look exactly the same. So this is why Komen needed to establish and articulate its point of difference. So we decided to hear it from the people who've been touched most closely by breast cancer. And these are the survivors and the co-survivors. So going into the research, we had three key objectives. One was to internalize the breast cancer experience. So if you haven't actually experienced it yourself, you can only understand it intellectually, somewhat emotionally, but we really wanted to dig deeper and internalize that. We did want to articulate Komen's point of difference, and based on all those, we wanted to communicate with greater empathy and impact. So I will now turn it over to Abby to walk you guys through the research.
Thanks, Padmini. So in order to accomplish these goals, we used the Zaltman metaphor elicitation technique, which is ZMEN. And it's a qualitative research methodology that's designed to uncover the deep mental and emotional structures of thought. These structures of thought are important to understand because they're what's driving behavior. And so if a brand can understand this unconscious architecture that exists, it can begin to engage and connect with people much more efficiently and effectively. So what we did, these are one-on-one interviews. We sat down with 14 breast cancer survivors and 6 co-survivors and talked to them about their experiences. It starts out with a question, right? We send home a homework assignment. We ask people to collect images about the topic. In this case, we had them collect 3 to 4 pictures about your experiences with breast cancer and 2 to 3 pictures about your experiences with Susan G. Komen. And so this assignment is important because what happens is that people arrive at their interview and they're ready to talk about their thoughts and feelings. The interview is all non-directive. We use laddering and metaphor exploration probes to really expand off of these ideas and get to that mental terrain about breast cancer and Susan G. Komen. And then in our analysis, what we do is we look at the patterns in the verbal metaphors as well as imagery, and we deconstruct that down to that basic structure of thought. And so what you're going to see right now are images that these participants brought in to express their feelings. So the story really starts with diagnosis, and being diagnosed with breast cancer is like being hit with a force. You're completely thrown off of your normal life path, and you enter into an uncertain journey. It's a scary journey. It's at times a very lonely journey, and a very dark journey. And these are images that these survivors and co-survivors brought in to express these feelings. And somehow, what you have to do is find the inner strength, find some kind of inner hope, find some sort of way, some strength to be able to move forward. And so really the role of Susan G. Komen is to magnify that inner light, to ignite it in some way. Again, and these are images that these participants brought in to talk about that idea. And Komen is able to do that by providing two essential resources, and that's what these participants talked about. The first one is knowledge, and the second one is connection. Komen does that by providing some of the most cutting edge and supporting some of the most cutting edge research that is really paving the way towards better treatments and hopefully someday a cure. It's also thought of as a credible resource, a trustworthy resource of information for people who just want to understand the disease better. On the connection side, it's there in the ground, in communities, supporting families and survivors through the affiliate network. And it also provides a sense of community. So in the words of one survivor, they said that Susan G. Komen has brought forth a sisterhood. It gives you a sense of importance. It gives you a sense of value. So that feeling of community, that I can do something or we can do something together. And so with these resources, the knowledge and the connection, they're feeling confident, they're feeling armed and ready to start the battle. And really the hero of this, it parallels the classic hero's journey, and the hero of this journey is the breast cancer survivor. And so that's a really important thing to note, that Komen is not giving strength, but rather it's magnifying or igniting that inner strength that person already has. And so whereas these survivors and co-survivors are feeling trapped, they're feeling lonely, they don't know what to do in the beginning, hopefully at the end of this process they're somehow feeling transformed and experiencing life in a new way somehow. And so what we did was we mapped out this journey, the transformational journey of breast cancer and the role of Susan G. Komen. And so you can see that we have, so that we can understand what are the emotions, what's going through people's head through each stage of these journeys. So we start off, people are feeling trapped, they're feeling lonely. Somehow they've got to find that inner strength deep within them to know that they can move forward, there's possibly something they can do. And that light is magnified by Komen by providing the resources of knowledge and connection, and they're ready to go to fight and battle. And hopefully at the end, and this might be several years into remission, they're feeling transformed somehow, and they might be able to look back on this journey and say, you know what, I had the strength. I was able to do this. I fought it, I beat it, and here I am. And perhaps see themselves in a new way as well as life.
Okay, so based on these insights, we did have some great results and impact. The first was really being able to frame this experience as the hero's journey. And it really helped us understand broadly what the breast cancer experience was, but within that, the specific steps and specific emotions along the way. The second, as Abby already talked about, was now we knew what Komen's point of difference was. We heard a lot about the fact that Komen's mission is much more holistic, and it's because of the fact that it spans both knowledge and community. Our third biggest result and outcome from this research was being able to clarify the brand essence. So prior to this research, there was a lot of internal debate and discussion around, you know, was it hope, was it courage, was it optimism, was it strength? And all of them were, you know, strong candidates, but none of them felt really rich. But once we realized that Komen's role in this hero's journey is to play the role of empowering the heroes, we could drill down to the brand essence and come up with empowerment. The fourth really big impact was being able to evolve our creative from being Komen-centric to truly being survivor-centric. And these are images from our current campaign, and all of them showcase stories of heroes and then Komen's role in their stories. And last but not the least, we radically redesigned the website. So it went from being a very cold, clinical, information-heavy website to something that is very warm, very empathetic, and very inviting. And you can actually opt into that experience based on the stage of the journey that you're in. So in closing, the metaphor of the hero's journey really helped us define our brand essence, but more importantly, I think it's helped us start our own journey to serving the heroes in the breast cancer fight even better. Thank you.